Welcome back to day 2 of the Cozy Rosy Vlogmas, and it is the 2nd of December and we are going shopping today. It's already been 7 days since the official Black Friday. We've already had Cyber Monday, and now there are still bargains to be had, and I'm going on the hunt for them. I'm trying to keep my budget as in control as possible when it comes to gifting for people. I'm also trying to shop local and shop small where I can, but actually sometimes the deals are just too good to miss, especially when you're buying someone's favourite things. Later on this evening, I'm going to be joining my neighbour and we're going to be going to a craft fair that's being held just up the road, where I already know a couple of the kind of artists that are going to be showcasing their products there, and I can't wait to see them and catch up. So all in all, it's going to be quite a busy day with lots of shopping, and of course it's Friday. That means I'm working this afternoon. So I am going to be at work a little bit later before I nip out to the craft fair. I think I'm also going to be teaching a crochet workshop too. If you don't know, I work at Hobbycraft in the UK, and I am one of the crochet artisans. So I help teach crochet workshops within the store, and they're great fun. I really love doing it. Kind of a bit of a highlight of my Friday when I have some people booked in for a workshop, and I think we have 3 learning today. So all exciting times. I'd love to know if you've picked up any bargains for your Christmas shopping. Have you been adding to your yarn haul, or have you been purchasing lots of lovely things? Earlier this week, I shared one of my great Black Friday bargains, which was of course the yarn swift I bought from We Crochet / Knit Picks, and it has been an absolute godsend. Trying to sort through some of my yarn stash. I might share some of that with you later this week, but it's a pile and a half, and it looks so much better when it's kind of sorted out. But the biggest thing about the yarn swift is I can actually get those hanks ready to use and not keep putting it off. So I'm going to be winding some more hanks later on as well. I've got 2 more hanks in the shade that I wound the other day that I shared on my Instagram and my TikTok, and there's still so many more to do. Well, maybe, no there are. I found some mini skeins that I'll share with you later too. So let's get ready to go shopping. This little one, she needs to be walked before I go to work. So she's going to go and have a little nap, and then when I get back, I'll take her for a little wander around the park, and then I'll go to work and I'll come back. Oh, it's just going to be one of those days, and I'm excited to bring you along with me to see what we see shopping. So I'm back from shopping, and I have quite a bag of things to go through with you and to share some of the great deals that I saw in store. Now, I don't have much time because I have work shortly. I've still got this little one to take out, but I'm going to show you some of the things I bought and how you're going to see them a little bit later in this Vlogmas. I'm not even sure where to start in this bag. Let me pop it on the floor. So one of the first things I went into store for was to grab some of their amazing Black Friday deals. They're still on until the end of Sunday. You can get them online or in store. And I actually picked up 6 jigsaw puzzles, but these are the only ones that people won't see before Christmas. So these are going to be for my niece and my nephew. They're both probably a little bit too young for these, but they're very bright, and I'm sure that they will grab any opportunities to do another jigsaw puzzle. The other ones are more likely to be seen by people that are going to be gifted to. So these were just £3 each, and that's half price. All the jigsaws were half price. I think the most I paid for a jigsaw was about £7, and they were those 1,000-piece jigsaws. They have jigsaws like Disney inspired, around the world ones, and they had a really nice one with a big Frida on it, which I nearly got for myself. So many different types of puzzles, as you can see here, and there is literally something for everybody. And I've never met someone who doesn't like doing a jigsaw puzzle. One of the biggest challenges I find going around Hobbycraft is that I get inspired to make even more things. Now, I love crafting at Christmas, and even when I'm working in store, I kind of plan what I'd like to make, but then I might not ever get around to doing it. And I've picked up a couple of things that I think are going to be really good for me to do, kind of chill out a little bit, whilst doing some Christmas crafts at the same time. So this is one of them. I have actually never completed a cross stitch. Not that I've never not done it, but this one is a little mini cross stitch kit. And they have a mini embroidery hoop that's going to fit perfectly. It's the right size for these mini kits. There are about 8 or 9 different patterns to choose from, and they're all half price at the moment. And this little hanging embroidery hoop, I think, was just £2. So one of the things that Hobbycraft is really well known for is their wide selection of paint your owns. When it comes to festive paint your owns, how can you resist painting your own Christmas tea light? And this one is, I can't wait to make this. I will share this with you when I've made it or painted it, as the case may be. You get everything you need to paint it. So you get all the paints that you need, a little paintbrush, and of course your ceramic tea light holder to paint as well. So again, another little craft that I'm going to try and find time for to just help keep me in the Christmas spirit. The selection of Christmas crafts that they have for children really inspires me. Now, one of the things that I love to do with my niece and nephew, hopefully before Christmas, but if not on Christmas Eve, I always have some crafts for us all to do together, just so, and I must admit, I do keep all of them because I just love things that they've made. I still have the pictures that they drew, I think it was on Boxing Day last year, up on my fridge at the moment. So I've picked up a few craft kits. As you can see, there are so many different things to choose from, and I picked up a selection because I just couldn't resist them, and I actually want to give them a go as well. So this one I grabbed a couple of weeks ago, and actually it wasn't available on the shop floor today, but this was like a little snowman kit, and it just uses those brilliant kind of lollipop sticks, as we would call them, but they're actually foam, so it's going to be probably easier for me to store and they won't get damaged once they've finished it. And another one was this cute little felt Santa kit too. So as you can see, there's loads of different little bits and pieces that they're going to have to use, from little pom-poms, and the felt's all cut out for them to stick together and create their very own little Santa. I'm so excited for that one. Something I couldn't resist that I saw in store, this might be for me, is this kind of make your own gingerbread house. I have tried so many times to glue together my gingerbread houses and they never work. So I have gone for a cardboard version this year. Look at all those beautiful stickers that come as part of this fabulous kit to create your very own gingerbread house. So I have molds for gingerbread houses, giant gingerbread men that I use every year. And actually this year I'm going to leave that silicone tray for that gingerbread house to one side and stick with this cardboard version instead. One of the things I love about these craft kits is they are so reasonably priced that a couple of those maybe spend less than £6, and you've got lots of different crafts that you can do with your children or with your younger members of your family to keep them inspired and get them feeling festive too. It kind of keeps crafting at the lower end of that cost, and because these kits are done for you, you're not having to spend time putting the kits together yourself or following tutorials. It's just all in the bag for you, ready to get crafting when you're ready. One of the biggest downfalls when I'm at work is the lack of time to really get hunting the shelves and see what other inspirational things there are to make and do. When I was in the cake area or the bakery area, cake decorating area, I absolutely fell in love with these gingerbread picks. So you can use them in the top of cakes, you could use them on a big cake or in little individual cupcakes. And when I spotted these really cute gingerbread cupcake cases, I was absolutely sold. I can picture myself using them to make gingerbread flavoured cupcakes and maybe with a little bit of icing on the top, and then shove one of these picks in, and I'm sure they're going to be delicious. We are still nowhere near half of the stuff I bought. Let's show you the wrapping paper. One of the things that they've introduced is this really eco-friendly wrapping paper. So there's no glitters in any of their wrappings. And I've selected, knock myself out with that, 2 different wrapping papers. One that just has a Merry Christmas on it, or Season's Greetings. And this other one that just kind of has a nice floral look to it. Because I'm not spending as much money on Christmas presents this year, I've decided to go a little bit more special on my wrapping and use ribbons and lots of fancy things. Because I'm giving people less presents, I want them to look really, really pretty. So the selections of ribbons that are available in store are pretty epic. And this is what I'm showing you here is not even what was originally there at the start of Christmas. I have selected some of my favourites that I can use to kind of together wrap up my presents with some detail. I'm probably going to use 2 different ribbons on one present, and I'll show you how I do that later. My top tip, if you wanted to add those really beautiful floral picks where you've got the kind of a sprig of holly or something like that. If you're not going to crochet it, insert link to pattern here. You could, of course, grab a low-cost garland and actually pull that apart. I have done that in the past. So with Hobbycraft, I've already got downstairs, I've bought one of their garlands for this year that I used in some of my photos for some of the earlier Christmas patterns, and it's absolutely stunning. And for the price of it, it looks better than it cost, if that makes sense. I mean, most greenery that's fake at Christmas looks fake because it's not real, but actually this looks like you could kind of get away with it, most definitely. You see, I'd forgotten I bought these as well. These little wooden decorations, this is again something else that can be kept either for Christmas Eve, when I'm going to be seeing my niece and nephew, or hopefully if I get them round earlier for some cake. I'm going to get them to colour these in as well. I have a Christmas tree, a little one that's specifically for handmade Christmas decorations only, either that I've made them, niece and nephew have made them, or I've gathered other handmade decorations over the years from the various craft fairs I go to. So I'm going to get them to colour those in for me so I can put them on my tree. The final thing that I picked up were these Hessian rolls. I'm assuming they're Hessian. There are lots of different Hessian rolls that had different prints on them. And I just picked two of the prints that I really liked. And I thought I could either use this as decoration on the tree. I don't have that big a tree, to be honest, but I can always cut this in half. Or I could make placemats or a table runner out of this. So it feels like I've had a really, really good haul, and I've certainly selected lots of different things to be crafting over Christmas, and I can't wait to share all of it with you. So thank you so much for joining me for the little mini shopping trip today, and I hope that you're feeling crafty. I'm off to go to a craft fair this evening, and I'll be sharing more of that with you tomorrow. Do let me know in the comments what Christmas crafts you're going to be doing this weekend, so we can keep each other inspired to keep on crafting. I will see you tomorrow for day 3.